My name is Rafe and welcome to another episode of Digital Diaries. In this particular video, we're going to look at how you can convert a raw footage, which is not so good looking, to something which is more appealing and cinematic. So let's get into it. As you can see, this is my project timeline. I use Final Cut Pro 10X as my editing software with 4K 60 frames per seconds as per my video recording. This is my timeline. I'm going to move my play ahead so you can see this is what our actual raw footage looks like. तो हमने इसी को ही चेंज करना है अब, और वी हैव टू मेक श्योर कि ये बहुत बेहतर तौर पे वी कैन गिव इट एज एन एंड प्रोडक्ट. सो आई एम गोना टर्न ऑन सम स्टेबलाइजेशन एंड आई एम गोना सी के हाउ इट टर्न्स आउट टू बी. सो या इट्स बेटर बट वी नीड टू स्टिल वर्क ऑन इट कि ये भी फिर भी इसको कभी बहुत ज़रूरत है इस चीज़ की. तो नेक्स्ट वी गोना डू इज वी गोना डिटैच सम ऑडियो बिकॉज ये हमें बार बार तंग ना करे. तो because we have to move our playhead forward and backward, so we don't want any interference in it. Okay, so once we're done, now what I want to do is I'm going to make my footage scale in a position that at the end I want कि इस पे मेरी centered aligned हो and it's थोड़ा भी zoomed in. So I'm going to add a keyframe at the start, and at the very end I'm going to put another keyframe to, let's say, about 135%. So as you can see, gradually my video is going to zoom in to the end point where it's 135%. It looks perfect to me. You can always adjust it according to the camera length you shot the video. Now basically what happens is that you generally have no idea when you're trying to capture an image or a video. You don't know what the horizon angles are. So I'm going to turn on some horizon and I'm going to see where my frame is going. उसी हिसाब से I'm going to edit it, I'm going to rotate it. So basically you see I want के जो नीचे वाले fenders हैं, the dummy cars, I want के it should be aligned to them. So I'm going to go through rotations and I'm going to add a keyframe, and I'm going to rotate it to my prescribed angle. As you can see, I have now enabled the option of transforming. Now I can move around and play with my clip. So in whatever direction I want to move my clip, I can do that. एक चीज़ का ख्याल रखना ज़रूरी है कि you don't need to move your clip too much कि आपका frame ही बाहर हो जाए, तो that's going to distort the video and it's going to look very messy. So up till now I'm happy with what I'm doing right now because yeah, it's in my frame and I'm very happy with it right now. Next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to sharpening tool because I want that my dummy cars should be sharpened, and then uski contrast mein uska background hai, I want it to be little blurry. So I'm gonna add some sharpening filter to it, and then I'm gonna add some mask to it. In this way we can I would really want कि मैं headlights और fenders को थोड़ा sharpen कर दूँ, which will make it different from the background and foreground. So I want कि मेरा जो dummy cars हैं they look थोड़ा stood out in this scenario. So I'm going to add a mask, and now there's a problem in this masking because I'm going to feather it as well. There's a problem कि बहुत सारे लोग करते हैं ये कि शुरू में keyframe डाल के they don't really play along with the mask as well, because what we want to do is if we have to add a keyframe, हमें उसको हर frame में जाके हर एक keyframe में जाके may that be 60 keyframes in a second or 20 keyframes in a second, उसको जाके adjust करना होता है. Now in my case I have shot the video in a way कि I don't really want to move it because I've tried कि मैंने उसको center में ही align कर दिया है और ये बहुत बेहतर है इस चीज़ में. So as you can see, I'm starting to move my keyframe and then mask in respectively because I want कि fender or headlights they come out to be very sharp इस scenario में. Okay, coming to the end of it. Now this is where the real magic happens because as I said कि मुझे background और foreground में थोड़ा इसको contrast दिखाने के लिए different करना था. I'm gonna change the amount as well because that's up to you if you want to change the amount, because that is not really important, but at the end you really have to look into it. So here we are at the very end. I'm going to position it one last time and I'm going to add a keyframe, and that's it. Yeah, see you have a bit sharpened contrast, and then you have a background which is a bit. Now we're not still done here, it's still a raw footage, so we're going to make it a bit better this time. Now we're going to add a shape mask this time. And now what we want to do is we want to make sure कि हमारा background is completely different from the foreground. So we're going to invert the mask this time. What happens is कि जो effect होगा, it's going to be on the background and foreground, and हमारा middle ground जिसमें हमारे product पड़े हुए हैं, it's going to be same. It will look stood out at the end. I'm adjusting this mask to the length of my cars. So yeah, now I'm going to invert it. That's so, as you can see, not too much has happened right now if I play around with the amount, but yeah, you can see the door of the car to be very sharpened, and then the background to be very hazy. So this is one effect which you can really pull off, because at the end, even the small details, they matter a lot. Just adding the keyframe so my mask would know where to sharpen at the end. So I'm gonna adjust the keyframe and the mask. I'm gonna move the key head, playhead again. And I'm gonna see कि centered रहे हैं cars हमारी. And just like that, we're gonna do it all the way till the end. A little more to the right, and that's, yes, we're perfect. I guess we need to put, yeah, it's perfect now. We're gonna add a keyframe now to call it off. Now the next step is, because it's very shaky and it's very not in a flow right now, so I'm gonna go in show video animation. I'm gonna go in transform, and I'm gonna hit the keyframe with a linear. I'm gonna hit the keyframe to linear. That will make so I'm gonna hit the keyframe to linear. Now that will really make the video very smooth and in an optical flow, because if you change the duration of the clip, the keyframes, they extend and they turn out to be very glitchy at the end. So I want कि हर चीज़ normal रहे. So I'm gonna make sure कि हर चीज़ हमारी linear proportion में हो. Now we're gonna add some Gaussian blur to it. Now what this will do is that I want कि मेरी intro में थोड़ा blurry हो पूरी video, and then after a few seconds the blur starts to open, and then we have the full view of whatever is happening inside the frame. So what at the end I would do is, now I would add the blur to it, and then I'm gonna add a keyframe. Okay, let's suppose I want it to be, okay, now I want my video to be blurry at this point. I'm gonna add a keyframe now. Okay, let's suppose I want this point to be where the blur opens. So I'm gonna go, but wait, let me just change it to, let's say 25. Let's see how it is. Okay, this is pretty good to me. Now at the opening point, I would go and set the keyframe to 0. I'm gonna add a keyframe. I'm gonna set it to 0. Now what this would do is, शुरू में मेरा blur आएगा, and then after a few seconds, it's gonna be gone. Okay, this is perfect to me. Now presets. Now I'm gonna add some effect presets, because generally Final Cut Pro doesn't come with a lot of LUTs. You have to use third-party extensions to color grade your images. Do not play around with the master colors, because you're gonna mess up all the product at the end. So this is it. I'm gonna add some cinematic bars, and now this is final video. So thank you for watching the video till the very end. I hope I was able to explain you guys much better how you can use some basic and raw shots to convert it into something which is more cinematic and more pleasing to the eye. So see you in the next video.